Hello folks, welcome to Tai Chi 5 from our beautiful harbour. So down here getting a bit of shelter because it's a bit windy out there. So we'll see how we get on with this. I'm going to do something a wee bit different this time. There's what's called the 10 essences in Tai Chi, which is like your guide for the different principles that you're using in movement. So what I'm going to do, something a wee bit different. This is your book at bedtime. A few years ago, well quite a few years ago actually, I came across this article about the 10 essences, and it familiarised me with them in a way that I thought it's very practical, it's really well put. So I happened to wee look over it earlier on and I thought, what the hell, I'll just read it out. It's by Christopher Pei, who was, probably still is, my teacher's teacher. And he studied under, at the time, Yang Jianji, who was one of the last of the old guard of the Yang family. So I came across this article and I was so taken by it that I asked him could I reproduce it for giving out to people. So here it is. It's called, what's it called? Having a wonderful time, but where am I? Okay. Now the 10 essences are something that get a bit involved as you go through them, but whether you're a beginner or whether you've been doing it for a long time, there's a lot in them. There's a lot there that you'll understand, that you'll be able to connect with. And they're as Christopher would say, they're like your roadmap for Tai Chi. So I'll go through the article and enjoy. And keep watching. So, as Christopher begins, if you're going to travel to a new city and all you know is your destination is westward, you hop into your car, just start to drive towards the west. You'll probably reach where you wanted to go with a lot of mistakes and wasted time with the wrong roads. It's the same if you study Tai Chi without a detailed roadmap. It will take you a lot longer to reach your goal. The traditional Yang style originally evolved from Chen style Tai Chi. Every time a change is made to its original format, the new idea and frame will need to be tested in theory. Its function and application to see if it is workable and useful. So, a wee bit of background. When the first generation of the Yang family, Lang Yu Chan, changed the frame of the Chen style Tai Chi, it was the beginning, the embryo of the traditional Yang style Tai Chi. It took the next two generations, his son Yang Jian Hao and his grandson Yang Cheng Fu. 3 generations, that is, of constant refinement to develop what we know today as traditional Yang style Tai Chi. It was not until Yang Cheng Fu was in his late 50s that he said, "This is it. There isn't anything that I could refine on it. No changes should be made because I couldn't improve on it any better. This is traditional Yang style Tai Chi." Nowadays, when we study traditional Yang style, we're emulating the late Yang Cheng Fu's frame. Yang Cheng Fu. He has left photographs for us to compare, but not only our body frame has to look like his. The most important thing that he left for us is the roadmap of how to study traditional Yang style Tai Chi, which we call the 10 essences. So, Christopher teaches seminars all over the world. And as he said, I've met a wide range of students from beginners to experienced Tai Chi practitioners. When you have a mixed group at different levels of skilled students, the first thing for me as a teacher is to find out how much does each student understand Tai Chi. If you teach the same thing all the time in every seminar, you're no longer teaching, you become an instructor. A good teacher understands what each student's level is and then teaches according to each student's needs. So, he says, it's very surprising to me when I ask the students, how many of you have heard of the 10 essences? Most of the students will raise their hands. Then I ask, how many of you can recite the 10 essences? Half the students will drop their hands. Then I ask the remaining students to recite the 10 essences. Everyone can recite 3 or 4 out of the 10 without a problem. Then it starts getting harder as someone calls out remaining essences. Most of the time, no one can recite the 10 essences without any hesitation. It took 3 lifetimes of the Yang family members to come up with this detailed roadmap for our study of Tai Chi. Our mastery of the traditional Yang style Tai Chi depends on our understanding of the 10 essences. Turning over. Memorizing the 10 essences is not a true understanding of Tai Chi. Memorizing the words doesn't mean you're able to transfer the feeling into your body when you practice the movements. If the feeling of the 10 essences is not transferred into the body when you practice, then the essences become a slogan. Slogans are useless in the study of Tai Chi. Then how do we comprehend the 10 essences? First, let us understand the principle of yin and yang. Energy is created when 2 opposite extreme forces either pull or push each other with balanced intensity. To simplify, drawing a bow to shoot an arrow is a good example of how the opposite forces pull against each other to create a controlled energy. When Tai Chi was created, it wasn't created as a stress reduction, relaxation and meditation exercise. It was created as a martial art with the understanding of traditional Chinese medicine and the study of yin and yang. In ancient times, all battle was done one-on-one, hand-to-hand. The eye contact is your first clash with your opponent. How you stand, how you look, the appearance and feelings, the feeling that you project onto your opponent will determine the opponent's action from that point. If you stand tall with a feeling of uprightness in the body, with a projection of high spirit, your opponent will be less likely to make a move towards you. You're using your spirit to overcome your opponent first. Raising your head to lift the spirit is the first essence of Tai Chi. When a person has good spirit, you'll see their head, neck and spine lined up in an upright position. When their back is hunched and head lowered, this is a sign of tiredness, distress or not feeling well. Earlier we discussed yin and yang, the coexistence of opposite forces in harmony. Therefore, the feeling of lifting the head is needed to counterbalance the feeling of sinking the shoulders and lowering the elbows. Sinking shoulders and lowering the elbows is the second essence. The first and second essences balance each other. Without the second essence, the body will become too tense to practice. Sinking shoulders and lowering the elbows will allow you to become softer. We want to stand upright and in a loose position. As your shoulders sink and elbows lower, you will feel your chest becomes loose and sunk inwards. When your chest is sunk inwards, this will cause your back to be rounded and the feeling of the muscles in your back expanded and stretched slightly. Loosening the chest and rounding the back is the third essence. During your practice, if you feel your spirit is low and you need to raise your head, you should also feel your shoulders are sunk, elbows lowered, chest loosened and back rounded. The feeling of all these body parts are connected as one unit. They're affecting each other just like the gears in an engine. If you try to recite these words in your mind or to speak out loud, your body movements will become too fast for you. Your mind and body are no longer in harmony. You should feel the essences. Breathing is controlled by your chest. If your shoulders are pulled backwards, your chest will become tense. Your breathing is restricted in your upper chest. When the first 3 essences are done correctly, you will find breathing becomes longer and deeper. Your breathing is able to be lowered into your lower abdomen. The feeling of deep and relaxed breathing is called sinking chi into the dantian. The power of our body is never originated in the arms or legs. It is created by torque of the waist, Waist is a very misleading word in the study of Tai Chi. Most of the students will think waist is the muscles on both sides of the stomach. When we say waist, we mean the torso, the front and back of the body, the complete rounded body. The issuing of energy is called Fa Jing. It is done by torquing the waist very explosively and quickly from one direction to the opposite and then back to its original position. This quick torque produces an energy that shoots through the spine, up into your shoulders, and then extends into your arms. And finally, the energy is released through your hands. Loosening the muscles and allowing the turning of the waist is the fourth essence. In the example of drawing the bow to shoot an arrow, the power of the bow is not stored or created at the ends of the bow, but rather in the middle. In the human body, the power is not in the hands and feet, but in the middle of the body, the waist. Since we understand the power is created in the waist, we also need to understand that every time your waist is turned, your body weight is changed and your balance is affected. The legs are built to support our upper body. The feeling of a strong firmness in the legs is called rooting. You've heard me talking about that. Rooting is created by either pushing your legs against each other or pressing your legs down and away from each other. If you don't have this rooting feeling, your mind will not be in your legs. Paying attention to the weight changes in your legs will produce a strong rooting feeling. Tai Chi energy is very interesting. It is controlled by your thoughts. As long as you think about it or pay attention to how it feels, the energy is there and ready to be used at your command. If you don't think about it, then the energy is not focused. Energy without focus is never controlled and it's useless, apparently. The understanding of weight changes in the legs with the turning of the waist is the fifth essence, separation of the substantial and insubstantial. So every time your waist is turned, you should connect to and feel your waist and legs are moving together. Just turning your waist without feeling your legs will cause your rooting to be weak and you will lose your ability to use the torque energy effectively. If you understand what the first five essences are, you should be able to feel the upper body is governed by the first three essences and the lower body is controlled by the fourth and fifth essences. Upper body is the head, shoulders, elbows, chest and back. Lower body is the waist and legs. I think he's talking about hips and legs there. To connect the upper and lower body together in movements so the upper body and lower body's energies are combined into one larger energy is the sixth essence, coordinating the upper and lower body. Okay. Nearly there. The last page. As soon as the upper and lower body energies are combined and coordinated into one energy, you'll need to monitor it so energy can be delivered continuously. This feeling of flowing energy moving smoothly without interruption in motions is called continuity without interruption, your seventh essence. In Tai Chi, every movement or motion has to have a purpose, a reason. Okay, this section sort of refers to the martial aspects. I know it really doesn't apply to a lot of people, but it's useful to know where this goes in terms of when you're doing Tai Chi, whatever your reasons for, it's all in there. The martial, the physical, the spiritual, everything is in there. So as I was saying, or as Chris was saying, in Tai Chi every movement or motion has to have a purpose, a reason. Reasoning can only come from the understanding of the application. For example, the first move in traditional Tai Chi and short form is raising both hands in front of the body to shoulder height. Without understanding the application, students will only raise the hands. They feel relaxed, but that is it. Understanding the applications, students will be able to extend their energy into an opponent's body and disturb his or her balance. The opponent is then repelled backwards without us ever using any muscle power. By understanding this, the body is connected with the mind. This aspect of Tai Chi study is very important. This is knowing the intent, what your mind is trying to achieve and what your body is capable of doing. Your intent and body frame have to be unified as one. If you have a good intent without a strong body frame, you will not accomplish what you want. The eighth essence, coordinating your internal intent, mind, and your external physical frame, body. Sometimes others refer to this essence as coordinating internal and external, or uniting internal and external. The applications are executed in your mind. No punch or push is executed with tightness in the muscles. Tightness causes your movements to be more staggered, slower, and to use more muscle power. Loose muscle, suddenly contracted into extreme tension and then loosened again, creates a type of energy that is more powerful than the tight muscle type. So when we practice Tai Chi, we use our mind, not our physical force. Energy is used softly and gently. Using mind and not force. Force is the ninth essence. Softness is also misunderstood by many people. If you're very soft, then you can only practice one of the extremes of yin and yang. Softness doesn't mean relaxed soft. Softness means that your bone structure has been extended. The tendons are pulled to a point of being stretched and there's a slight tension in them. The muscles are still soft. Both softness and tension are needed to create energy in the body. Finally, in motion, you should feel peaceful. The feeling of peacefulness is like standing in a pool of water, moving so gracefully that you don't create any waves in the pool because you move through it softly. Now, the tide's out. I could have demonstrated that in the harbour, but this is called seeking stillness in motion. So that idea of movement without causing ripples. When standing still, you feel the inner body extending and expanding, so energy is created. You're then seeking motion and stillness. So your final 10th essence, seeking stillness and motion and stillness, the yin and yang. If you can reason out the 10 essences, your training in the traditional Tai Chi Yang style will reach a new skill level. In the beginning, you might find it difficult. Reasoning out the 10 essences is better than trying to memorize them. Only by reasoning out the essences will you understand how they feel. Following the feeling with the guidelines of the 10 essences, your body will never move outside the correct frame. Your form will look just like Yang Cheng Fu's photographs. You'll find your energy comes up much easier and quicker. Then you'll know you're on the right path. Now that's much thanks to Christopher Pei, who wrote this article. I don't know, well I republished it in 2007, so it was a few years before that. I know that there's a lot in there, and there's a lot, maybe if you're only a beginner, that might be a bit, what is he talking about? But even if you concentrate on the first of the 5 essences there, that's all your physical stuff. That's all the like the coordination of the body, how your frame is, how your shoulders are sunk, how the elbows are always down, the back slightly rounded, the head always upright, the coordination, the rooting. That's all stuff that I would talk about anyhow in classes. As you move through the essences, it gets a wee bit more, they get a wee bit more involved, where you start to talk about more, you start to get in more to the spirit of the movement. But have a look at it anyhow. Watch the video a few times. If there's any things that you think that really strike you and really you can relate to, go over them. they're fantastic. I found them for myself when I was at that stage where I understood a good bit of form, and it's not that you have to have the whole form, but even looking at the essences in a small part of form of what you've already done will really make will bring your practice on to another level. So enjoy, and I hope everyone's well. I'm missing you. So from here on in, I'm going to be doing just one video a week. Okay, I don't want to spoil you too much. That's what it is. So enjoy. I hope everyone's well. I'm missing you a lot, and stay safe, as everyone's saying these days. And good luck. All the best, folks.